Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here. Please do not rely on tarot readings for factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. If you haven't already watched the last two readings, I encourage you to do that. This is a very specific message for the 444 collective. Now, I'm getting a couple songs. I have been yawning. I lit some candles when I'm still yawning. A few songs came to mind. One is that Usher song from the early 2000s. Da-na-na-na-na, 'cause I want you. And I know. Da-da-da-ba-da. Da-ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba. Let it burn. Let it burn. Gotta let it burn. So something about the point of it is I'm hearing like to burn the candle, get rid of it, use up that energy. And I also, the lyrics to a song by Arashi, which is a Japanese boy band, which is totally not why I have Arashi tattooed on my body. And their debut song, like Arashi, Kaze o atsumete. So something about bringing this wind inside of us. And through wind, I am thinking of like air, swords, mind, knowledge, intelligence. But also the connection with burn and then air. So there's something as my mouth like puckered to that. Like I just drank water, but I suddenly was so parched. There's something, well, you know, state of the world, something needs to burn. Something needs to burn, and I'm going to be very clear. I am speaking symbolically. I am not speaking literally. You need to set something ablaze. There's something that you need to burn. Whether it's I'm not seeing it as like burnt connections. I'm seeing it as like universe. When a candle burns, you might, and it gets to the bottom, you can ask yourself, where did that go? Where did that whole candle go? Where did the wax go? It burned. It turned to smoke and it was released. It was a chemical reaction. Change, communication with vibration on bottom. Welcoming change leads you to an awakening. Once you have tasted change, you're eager for the next one. And then true communication passes through the heart as much in love as in friendship. Allow your heart to express itself. What I am seeing here is the so much orange there and this orange face down here. Yes, orange for flame, orange for sacral chakra, for creativity. I'm noting all of these. Again, I love these cards, very Animorph vibe. All of these human heads facing this way, and all of these animal, I'm getting sort of like fox or greyhound or wolf with this dragon in the middle. Okay, what message do you have for the 444 collective? Changing communication, potentially within ourselves, with our community. Ooh, interesting diagonal. One more round. New bottom, the Lovers. So this choice point. This was that diagonal friend, then these were first, then this. And even now, moving things around before you even know what it is. And I'm moving around cards on a table. I'm fine. But something about that message of be really careful that you're not rearranging your life based on what you don't yet know. We have the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles. Okay, we have 3 royalty, you could say. I'll take these 2 upside down, the 8 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. So again, it's this decision that you had already made your mind up, that you were walking away from something, but you don't even know what it is yet. I'm seeing here, again, this coordinate, this access point with the Queen of Swords. She has this sword in her hand and this crow in her other hand. She's very steady, firm. She knows what she's doing or thinking or she's confident and it's decided. You could say stubborn. That's a word to also use. Here with this Knight of Cups, again, raising a cup to that, raising a glass in a celebration, perhaps in an achievement. But here with the Page of Pentacles, I'm getting, he's like, you know, picking things up with different hands of like, but we're just getting started. How are you both so confident in knowing what is? We are just beginning to materialize this into existence. And sometimes it is just that like stubborn nature, and you know when you know, and that's for you. I know I'm very much that person when I make up my mind that has been decided. No one is talking myself out of it, including myself. And perhaps that is something that we are being asked to, very humbling, that we are being asked to change. In our communication, I understand. Okay, let's see. There is a lot happening in the world right now. And I was having a conversation with someone about this a few days ago. I was saying how I feel like there are so many people that are having their spiritual awakening, which, one, in and of itself is life-changing and has all of its cans of worms and surprise, and it's a huge shift. It's a paradigm shift, right? I feel like so many people are having this awakening now, as also certain worlds are crumbling and certain structures are being exposed whilst eradicated. And it's not happening lightly, although it is happening swiftly. And I just was having this pull to communicate with people, which is what I'm doing through this channel, to try and connect with people that are having that awakening to everything all at once. And I am someone who is normally stubborn. I'm stubborn with what I'm stubborn about, but I'm so open with so many things. And this invitation that we're having now, this is the Indigo Artist deck, if anyone's curious. This invitation that we have is to change our communication, because there are now so many people that are waking up that I don't think are part of this wave that's going to be closing in the next few weeks. I don't think it's about rushing to get through that portal, but it's knowing that some of us will walk through that portal if we are not already on the other side already. And it's not for us to preach or convince or otherwise try to persuade someone to either see it like us or walk like us, talk like us, think, feel like us. It's not about trying to convert. I'm very clear with that. And I think here, perhaps this is where you are. Your 3 of Wands, you made up your mind where you're going. Your 8 of Cups, your emotional journey, you are pivoting through with your intuition with the moon. That's fine. That's wonderful. That's great for you. We have the Devil. Let me just get a modest gem for our Devil. What's another way to look at this? Just because you have so made up your mind that you are going to do it does not mean that there's no flexibility in how you do it. That, I feel, is a part of the shift that's happening. Is that it's kind of like there's a whole bunch of freshmen that just showed up. And they're excited. This is a new place. They want to make so many connections. They want to learn so much. They're just greedy for knowledge. And I don't mean greedy in a bad way. They're just like, I'm so excited to learn. You know, there's a lot of that energy going on. And it's not for you to teach the freshmen things that you didn't learn until you had graduated your senior year. It's not for you to compress them inside a package of someone that is already further along their spiritual understandings. It's about, sure, you know where you're going, that's great, but along the way, what if you were more open, more flexible to how you shared that knowledge? Now, I do not mean that you have to change how it is that you're showing up or participating, because maybe your gut response to that is like, I'm not here to teach. Okay. I'm not telling you that you are here to teach. All I'm saying is that the moments that arise where you are communicating interconsciousness, like you and another creature, could be another human, an energy, like, you know, whatever. It's this time where compassion is helpful. Not every single situation. Use your discernment, make your own choices. But this is the one that had come out sideways. The Fool. It's not a traditional new journey, because you might think, well, I'm not starting something new, I'm just continuing on. Yes, and what if you continued on? It's not about a big rethink or redevelopment. You're not undoing to redo anything. It's just, well, as people cross your path, what if you change how you greet them? It's kind of like being on a hike and coming across another person and saying, hello. You don't need to stop and have a full conversation, but you can acknowledge that they exist. Yeah, we have the King of Cups here with the Hierophant. So there's something about what it used to be, and this may still be where you are, but this sense of, I need to be firm, I need to be rigid. Like he's holding this cup here, but I got a feeling that that water inside that goblet is starting to turn to like jello, because it's so set in its ways, and that water hasn't felt what it's like to move. in so long. You feel that your emotions are like suctioned inside this only one way of being, and you have these two ravens here looking at one another. That's you asking yourself, is there another way? Instead of just leading with like the iron fist, you could say, it's taking more time to ask yourself, how do I want to phrase this? Being more fluid in your decision making. Full stop. Upside down, Three of Pentacles. Upside down, Temperance. The Tower. Which, yes, could have been upside down, but I chose to not. Which, interesting for that to be the Tower. Choosing to face it head on. Knowing that it may be a challenge. This is what you thought you were already developing, and you'd found this balance, and you're working on nervous system regulation, and then yes. You're going to feel thrown for a loop either way when a tower occurs. But you don't need to fret about that tower. This damn Seven of Swords everywhere. I get these two cards often together in readings. It's not about fighting your way. Remember, when you come down to this Five of Wands, you're going to get caught in that barbed wire. And there was a previous reading last week or week before, I'm not sure what it was called, but it was about redefining what the Seven of Swords is for you. And this is this bridge that's being met with this new, almost queer fool. Five of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Four of Cups. On bottom, Ace of Wands. What you are blind to, you now see, but you're missing the point. The point is, you're finding your way home. You're not alone. There are spirit or star family was here in the previous reading. You're going to be crossing paths with members of your star family. Don't close yourself off from those connections just because we are each in different places from one another. Depending on your beliefs, how they're structured, etc., etc. But I believe in this next wave, and people are talking about 2027, and I know that there's something going on there, but I'm not a person with the details on that. But astrologically, that could be something for you to look into. There's something about, jump in, go for it, seeing this eye here, right? I'm seeing this little connection here. It's about, if you remain so stubborn and closed off and cynical or scared of if you keep taking this path by yourself, you're going to end up alone. And I don't say that in way of like, you won't be in a relationship or you won't find soulmates. And, to touch on it very lightly, I believe in multiple soulmates, as in you're meant to cross paths with people and you teach each other things. I don't think that soulmate is the same thing as twin flame. Or that there is a one and only situation. But I understand, Like, dude, I get it. As someone that grew up with these experiences, whilst also growing up and knowing you don't talk about this, it can feel kind of jarring to suddenly open the door to other people and talk about this together. But earlier when I was mixing my decks, I was gonna say I'd laugh if it comes up. I'll do one more check. Nope. But it's in this Witch's Tarot. There was the Coven card, and that stuck out to me. And so there's something about you're going to cross paths with your people. How you choose to interact on the trail is only within your control. As my throat got a little tight, dry bubble there. So be mindful that you're not closing yourself off from life-changing experiences, relationally so. Okay, I think that's this message. If any of this resonated with you, if you found it interesting, you can like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. In the description, you will find a link to my Substack, which hosts the 444 Collective, a virtual ecosystem operating as a place to gather and explore together. Stay tuned.